And Ronnie McKay brought up a question here that I thought might be fun to discuss further in the comments section, and that is in regards to network-attached storage. We have seen companies struggle year after year to try to make this simple for consumers, and sometimes they go too far with that simplicity, like we saw with the WD MyCloud Home when I reviewed it about a year and a half ago. That was the video that Ronnie here was commenting on. And then, of course, you can go to the other extreme with the Synology and QNAP devices that have so many features that it's very confusing sometimes for consumers to get started with them. Now, in full disclosure, both WD and Synology are occasional sponsors here on the channel, but I do want to give you some recommendations as to what I think is the middle ground at the moment. And it's not a perfect middle ground, but I still recommend to people who don't need all the bells and whistles of a Synology, but not the limitations of a MyCloud Home, to take a look at the regular WD MyCloud devices. The most affordable one at the moment, at least that kind of meets all the criteria I'm looking for, is the MyCloud EX2 Ultra. Costs about $325 for a 4 terabyte model. Now remember, this is a device that will mirror one drive to the other, so your effective storage space here is 2 terabytes. You can get a diskless version for a little bit less, and you can put your own drives in at that point. You can change and swap out the drives later too if you want to do that. And I think this one kind of represents the middle ground, just because they don't overload you with features. The web-based interface does make sense for figuring out who to give access to on certain file shares and that sort of thing. And it really doesn't confuse people too much in getting started. You still have to spend some time with it to understand exactly what you're doing, but generally these still are kind of the middle ground, even 4 years later. Nobody's done really anything better or simpler than these, including WD's own efforts to simplify things. So I think this is probably the best place to get started if you're looking for something a little bit simpler, but there really hasn't been anything that I found to be like the greatest thing ever for consumers that they can just plug in and get working without a lot of little gotchas along the way. So my Q&A for you this week is, are there other NAS devices that I should be looking at that kind of fit that mold of a very basic, simple device to get set up, but does give you some control and flexibility as to how that device works? So let me know down in the comments below. We haven't looked at a Buffalo device in a while. I know they've got a number of NAS devices, so I'd love to hear what you're using and whether or not you think it might meet the needs that Ronnie brought up on this question.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Chris Allegretta, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Anooj Zaveri, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.